For further analysis, let's bring in Matt Frost. He's a scientist at the Plymouth Marine Laboratory. He joins us now live from the UK. Matt, good to have you on the show. So up until now, we've essentially had fragmented and loosely enforced rules governing the high seas. As a scientist, help me understand why this is important for you.
This is a really good day, and the reason it's important is because we're talking about 60% of our ocean, which really until, well into the 19th century, people thought would be a desert, but we now know contains some of the most biodiverse ecosystems on the planet. We have tens of thousands of species already named, but most people think there are millions of other species out there and habitats yet to be discovered, yet to be mapped. And this needs to be managed properly, not in a way, as you say, which is fragmented.
Okay, so what you're saying is that we're not just protecting the proverbial tip of the iceberg with this treaty, because our knowledge of the deep seas and oceans is limited. I mean, we're protecting perhaps millions of species that we have no idea actually exist.
Absolutely, and I think the crucial point in all this is that over the last few years, or over many years, technology has advanced hugely. So people are able to ship in areas of and fish. Take ships and fish into this ocean where they couldn't before. Deep sea mining, the technology has advanced massively. More technologies to exploit genetic resources. So the concern has always been that if that's not done in a way that is collaborative and done in a way that is supported by science, then that could be a real problem. We need the knowledge to back up this exploitation. So yeah, it's really good news for all those reasons.
What exactly is meant by the sharing of genetic resources? I understand the protection of species, but what's this protection or the sharing of genetic resources?
Well, there are many species in the ocean from which we've got some very important medicinal drugs. So, anti-cancer drugs, antiviral drugs, often from things like sponges and other species. Now, the problem at the moment is if you're a very wealthy country and you can fund the technology, send out ships, with all the appropriate equipment, and you can exploit that, and then, of course, you can make a lot of money from those discoveries. Now, the whole point of the ocean is that it belongs to all of us. It's the common heritage of humankind, to use the UN language. So it's very important that if somebody finds a new species and is able, let's just say, the Holy Grail, if you like, a cure for cancer, that has to be available to everybody. It can't be bought and owned by one single country. So that's what we're talking about in terms of sharing genetic resources.
Matt, I don't have a lot of time, but I do also want to ask you about how this treaty is going to be critical in terms of climate change as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, the ocean is absolutely critical in the fight against climate change because it's absorbing a lot of the carbon dioxide that we're pumping out at the moment. And we need to understand much more about how it acts as a carbon sink and protects us from the impacts of climate change, and also to understand how climate change interacts with other factors. So once again, it's absolutely vital as we move forward that we do more research on this, but also, as I keep saying, that we're working together, and that's what's really exciting.
All right, great stuff. Matt Frost, thank you very much for joining us here on Chair 2. I do appreciate it.